Hi YouTube, and welcome back to Tamara's Tarot and Oracle channel. Today I thought I would show you one of my latest decks in comparison with my latest video regarding the Romantic Victorian Tarot. Oh, and if anyone's wondering, I'm drinking, I believe it is Moroccan mint tea. It's so yummy. And I'm just going to take a sip and I'm going to show you the deck that I'm about to talk about in just a moment. Love it. I love tea. So it is the Russian edition of the Victorian Romantic. And I wanted this because, well, I want every edition. The first edition is pretty expensive, and I was able to find a very used copy at a very reasonable price of the second edition. And as you know, I just received the third edition, not just, but a couple weeks ago. And this was a pre-order that I had ordered back in November. So they were sending out all the pre-orders in April when this deck was first released. And I was awaiting with bated breath, and this eagerly anticipated deck finally found me. And when I first looked through it, I wasn't as excited as I thought I would be. But now having this deck in my possession, I have to say that my love for it is definitely deepening. And I'll get to that in a second. The Russian edition is in Russian writing. It comes with a Russian manual. I just took it out. I mean, I can't read Russian, and I know what all the cards are, and I have the little white book in the third edition if I need to reference any of the cards. I'm also thinking of purchasing the revised third edition book, the large book that is being offered as well by none other than Baba Studios. And yeah, so the Russian deck came last week, I want to say, and it comes in a tuck box, and these are the pictures on either side. So this, I believe, is the King of Swords. I actually quite like this King of Swords, and this is the beautiful High Priestess. And the box was a little bit falling apart, so I just glued it back together and it was good as new. This is a new copy. It came without the shrink wrap. I believe they had to check to see that all the cards were in good order, before they sent it off. So I didn't mind that too much, but yeah, I was able to get my hands on a brand new copy. It's not so difficult to find the Russian edition. I believe this is pretty much based on the first edition, like cardstock wise and imagery, although each edition has their own cards that are true to that particular edition, like the siren picture that is true to the first edition. And I would love to have that. And who knows, maybe one day I will. So this is the first card. So as you can see, it's Russian writing. And for those of you who can read and speak Russian, added bonus. So this is the Lover's card, Dante and Beatrice. So the backs of the cards are like a tapestry. It's pretty. The backs of the cards for the third edition is more of like a fleur-de-lis kind of, I can't think of the word right now, but yeah. Filigree. I think that's what I was trying to think of. And I like it. I love, my favorite is the second editions. Once I get my hands on that, I can compare all three. But that one, yeah, it just really appealed to me the most. I'm gonna take another sip of my mint Moroccan tea. Ah, so good. Anyway, the cardstock. Okay, it's a little flimsy, so when shuffling, like rifle or riffle shuffling, the third edition's sturdier. So for instance, like you'll see the Russian edition, I can look at that, but it's gorgeous. I believe the first edition is the same cardstock, from my understanding. Oh, I love that. Just the sound it makes. And the third edition is sturdier. Like it's stiffer, thicker. Yeah, I don't even want to do that with this one. This one's like a work of art. I just want to encase in I don't know. Anyway, excuse me. So the Russian edition, this is in the first edition, the Three of Wands, and this was replaced by the guy with the trumpet. Now I didn't pull out cards from the third edition. I just wanted to show you some examples from the Russian edition, and I like it, but it doesn't quite go with the rest of the deck, like theme-wise. So it's not like the artwork isn't super consistent, but I mean, I still like it a lot. So that's the Three of Wands. I love this version of the Five of Cups. This is the one I was talking about. I love the one in the third edition. But I really like her. Sorry about the glare. It's a bit fuzzy, but now I've noticed the colors on this edition are deeper and darker, and the line work it's not as soft, and also there's a lot of blemishes, or not blemishes, sorry, like with the printing, a lot of lines and things that they've kind of smoothed over. And now again, this is sort of, I think, came out when the first edition did, correct me if I'm wrong, but 2010. And since then, the second edition, and of course then now the third edition has been issued. So, you know, they've had time to tweak and adjust, you know, and improve things. But I mean, my first actual glimpse of this deck was the third edition, like in person. I mean, I've always seen it online, and I've always wanted it, and I was really glad to hear that the third edition was coming out, and that of course motivated me to get. I didn't even know about the Russian edition. I did some more snooping online, and I was really happy to come by this one as well. Here's the King of Swords. Sorry, my camera's not wonderful. Ooh, the Page of Swords. The Page of, yes, Swords. So they have made changes from this edition to the third edition, and I feel like once they do it 3 times or so, I mean, I feel like they've really perfected it. Like they've really been able to get out of it as much as they can by just making it better and better with each and every edition. I like this actually, the Ace of Wands. I think I prefer this to the one that they've used now. Yeah, so it's nice to have the cards that they don't have in the third edition, or even the second edition rather. It's nice to have the different cards from the different editions. I think I've said editions like 20 times already. The Four of Wands, I believe. Yes. Ooh, the Knight of Cups. So this is, you know, there's no gilding or metallic overlay or anything like that. Here's the Emperor. He's okay. I think I prefer the other one. I don't mind the one that they have in the latest edition. So you can't, I don't know if you can be able to pick it up on camera, but the 10 of Wands from the printer, I guess the line work is it's just not seamless or flawless. I don't know if you can really make that out. It's not doing it any justice, unfortunately. The lighting in here is not great. The King of Wands. I really like the King of Cups in the newer edition as opposed to the one that they have in the earlier editions. The Five of Wands. And like I said, the cardstock's pretty flimsy, so, you know, I just shuffle like overhand like that, and even then it like bends a lot. Oh my gosh, so we just got to the card. I don't know what it is about her, but I am just so drawn to her. I love her, and I didn't like the way that they made her look in the latest edition. And I don't know, they just brightened her hair too much. I'm going to find it now in a second. I love the way she looks here. She's just, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't quite look like she's, you know, stressed and stuck and feeling indecisive and paralyzed by fear and all the things that the Eight of Swords mean to me. But I still love her so much. And she's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the Victorian Romantic. Let me just quickly find, I'll do one quick side-by-side comparison. I know she's somewhere here. I just saw her when I was looking through this. Well, sorry. Oh, seeing all the other cards. She's hiding. Oh, there she is. I mean, she's still very nice, but I don't know why they did that, personally. As you can see, she's my favorite card, and I much prefer this version, personally. You know, they've done a fantastic job with the third edition. Like, I appreciate it so much more now that I've seen the Russian edition, just because I can see where it's sort of come from, more or less, and to where it is now. And I think I needed that because I hadn't really had it before in my hands. So I just, you know, you have these kind of false expectations, or you're not really sure what to expect. Because when you see it on camera, it looks a bit different when you actually have it in hand. So I don't know why they did that, but I really like her. I think she's perfect the way she is. I think the second edition is much the same as this one. But we will see. And I prefer her as well. They've done something to her face in the third one that I don't know what it is. I just prefer a more natural look. I think that's why I prefer the first Eight of Swords. I prefer a more natural, you know, not too Photoshop, like, I don't know. Let's see if I can just quickly, even the Lovers, I'll show that after, actually, once I find it in the Russian edition. Hold on, what am I looking for? The High Priestess. Oh, I love the King of in the third edition. He's a great improvement. Okay, let's see. Oh, I love the Hierophant, by the way. Okay, she is somewhere here, I know it. If I can't find her in like the next 5 seconds, then I'm gonna leave it for now. It's not overly important, it's just something I noticed. It's just me being nitpicky. Wow. She is hiding somewhere. Anyway, it doesn't matter, she's hiding in the deck. She does not want to come out. But again, like, just something that they've altered in the facial features that I didn't really think was necessary personally. And there's the good old Hierophant again. The Rabbi, I love that. Just the colors in the Russian edition are muddier, and the line work, there is more detail, which I knew before I got it, but I thought it would be better, and I actually liked it more smoothed out in the third edition. I mean, they each have their own charm, and there's really a lot of great qualities to the Russian deck, without a doubt. This one is true to this particular, maybe it's also the original, but certainly not in the later versions, the Six of Pentacles. I like it. I don't know, I like the one that they've chosen now. I don't like his face at all. I prefer the way they've made him look in the latest edition. Okay, let me attempt to find him. But if I can't, the next few seconds, then I'll just keep going. I it was somewhere here. Nope. Okay. Interesting. Oh, there he is. Whew. Last card that I'll stop and search for, I promise. So this is the Russian edition, and this is the third edition. And you can, I don't know if you can see, but there is a huge difference in his face. And in this one, he looks more caricature-y. I can't even say it, like a caricature. Yeah, and in this one, I don't know, they've just smoothed it out and they've made him look more, I say real, but they made him look more, yeah, less sketchy looking. Sketchy. Sounds has double entendre. Anyway, so yeah, that was just what I wanted to show you. On the backs, as I've mentioned before. And what's the size like? Oh, I always do that wrong. I think that the third edition is just ever so slightly taller, like ever so slightly. You can see. Same width. Oh, and the 6 of cups I prefer in the later version. I'm not going to fish through to find that, but I know there is at least one other video that shows a great comparison. I think it's Tiger's Abyss. So he does a nice side by side. I mean, I like it, but I like the latest one better. And oh, did I put the lovers away? No, I didn't I? Okay, it doesn't matter. The lovers. Just subtle differences, and most of the cards are the same, but the coloration and the saturation and the line work and that has been, I just feel like it's been perfected in the third version. You know, certainly with the Bohemian Gothic, the 3rd edition, from what I've seen, like I only own the 3rd edition, but looks by far the best. Although I kind of preferred the Queen of Swords in the 2nd edition, I want to say. But overall, I think that with each and every edition, it gets better and better. And they're able to perfect it that much more. Page of Pentacles. This is the other Emperor that I think I prefer. Yeah. You can't really tell on the camera, but there's lots of lines going through. That kind of bothers me. I mean, I do read tarot cards, but I also love collecting the art, and I think that's why I'm so nitpicky that the art has to look a certain way for it not to detract from being able to read the cards, if that makes sense. Like if I'm fixating on, you know, something that's like super flawed or even a little flawed, and it's kind of just taking away from my enjoyment of it. And I know it may sound whatever, but, you know, I really do appreciate art, and I really do, you know, it has to just, I guess, be of a certain caliber. And yeah, so, you know, I don't think you can compare like the Russian to the 3rd edition. I think that they each, like I said, have their own charms and their own appeal, which is what sets them apart and which is what makes, you know, them respectively so special. The Devil, I know, a favorite among many, one of my favorites and many other favorites. The Moon. Sorry for the glare. Anyway, so that's just me sharing my Russian edition with you. Like, I find the images are quite dark. And so in the 3rd edition, I mean, that's the only way that I think I would really compare it is that the saturation of color is with the metallic. It just really, it really adds quite a beautiful artistry to it, and I really appreciate that. But I appreciate this for so many of its own great qualities, and this is the Ace of Pentacles, which they've changed. There was a little girl in the 3rd one. I did not think that I would, and I don't know why, because I think from afar she just looked different to me, but I actually quite like this Queen of Swords. Like, I like the one that they've chosen in the later versions, but I really like her. I think she's like badass warrior woman. And I grew up watching Xena, Warrior Princess, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and, you know, just, I love tough chicks who kick ass, and she just looks fierce and not so caught up in her appearance. Just, she is who she is, and she's ready to fight for what she believes in, and I really like that. So I'll end it on that note, Queen of Swords. So this is just a small glimpse into the Victorian Romantic Russian edition, and they're not too difficult to find. I know Amazon, eBay, they have. A little pricey, but, you know, my birthday's coming up, and I thought I'd treat myself. So yeah, and I'd like to, you know, soon own all the different editions. That would be great, because I really do enjoy the Victorian Romantic, and I think it's just such a beautiful deck. So thanks so much for watching Tamara's Tarot and Oracle channel, and I will see everyone soon.